Hi my loves, how's it going? How you guys doing? Welcome if you're new, welcome back. If you've seen me before, I'm trying to squeeze this update in as soon as I can. So one, I'm sorry it's so out of whack, but two, yeah, life's just been throwing like 10-ton lorries at me back to back, and yeah, it's been really difficult, but I thought I'll try and squeeze in this update as quick as I could. I probably will also batch record, so this update and the next update you'll see me looking like a mess, you'll probably see me speaking like a mess too, so I am sorry about that. But I really do want to get this update out because I do owe it to not only myself, because I can keep this keep myself accountable, but two, if anybody is keeping up with this, I do also want to put it out for you as well. So let's just get right into this update. Right off the bat, I have two empties. Love that for me. The first one is this Beauty of Jason eye serum. So this is the Revive Eye Serum, Ginseng and Retinol. At first I wasn't really dealing with it, and then sort of the more I used it more regularly, I did kind of like it. I don't really think I'd noticed any difference because literally I'm not wearing any eyeshadow today. This is literally the state of my dark circles. I have really intense ones. I don't really think it did that big of a difference, but I wasn't consistent enough for long enough for me to really see this. However, I did actually like this, and I did notice a bit of smoothness on my under eyes, which I really like, because unfortunately right here on both my eyes there's like a lot of dryness, and I really don't like that. I think I'm also off-centered. Let me just fix that quickly. Okay, I think that's a little bit better, but yeah, this was not a bad product. I did actually like this towards the end, but I think I'll buy the full size one whenever I have gone through all of my eye serums. But it was okay. Like, I feel like I was a bit on and off with this, but towards the end I did actually really like it. Next up, I did use up a lipstick. It is a mini, and the mini took me forever as well, so imagine how long a full size one would take me. Yeah, so this was a mini. This is the shade Maple from Illamasqua. This is what it's looking like now. It looks kind of gross and crusty. If I didn't have as many lip products as I do, that is lipsticks, liquid lipsticks, lip glosses, lip crayons, as well as lip liners, I would have dug this out and I would have made sure to clean this completely. But I have literally 97 lipsticks left once I've used this up now. I only did cut a few at the start of the year, and this was my 98th lipstick. So yeah, I can't justify wanting to take everything out. And it also wasn't a shade that is one, something that I like obsessively loved, or two, it was a unique shade, because this one is actually like fairly common, surprisingly, to have something like this. And I think I have a few other options like this in my collection anyway, so I'm glad that this is done. Eventually I will be rolling in some more mini lipsticks in my project pan, the one that's more rolling, just because I want to get through some more of those. But I'm just happy that this is done. For the letter B, I have this Beauty Bay liquid eyeshadow in the shade Slick. I don't know why I always forget the name. You know, I had a really hard time with a lot of eyeshadows like this. I don't know why, and I think it's just like playing around more and more with them, I've sort of gotten a little bit more used to it. But also I know that only some formulas would work. Not everything works, and you know what, that's okay. But I actually really like the Beauty Bay formulas for this. Initially I was like, it's a silver, I don't really use silver that much, how am I really gonna end up using this? Surprisingly, I've managed to add this into a lot of my looks. If I'm not using it on my eyelid, I'm using it to do some kind of like creative thing on my on whatever space is available, like maybe drawing hearts or stars or whatever it is. I tend to not take pictures because by the time I've done like my makeup and remember that I need to take pictures, one, is too late and my makeup's already like completely like kind of falling apart. So yeah, I need to remember to try and get any, if I get any other uses on this, to try and get a photo of them. So since last update I've had 8 new uses, and that takes my total up to 14 out of 15 uses, and I think that's great. I think the fact that I've even managed to hit like 15 uses in this is pretty great. I did make a tiny dot for where I was, which is literally like right there, and I have made some progress, which is really nice to see, because at one point like there was so much product in here that I just thought like, how the hell am I even going to use it up? But it's been really nice to like get some use out of this. I think once this is done, I'm going to roll in something else into my rolling project pan, because I do want to get some more use out of some of the other ones. But this actually really surprised me. For the letter C, it's my Charlotte Tilbury Amber Gold cream eyeshadow. This isn't too bad. Like, there's a panel at the bottom, but this product moves around, so the pan will eventually disappear, but there was a pan at some point, and now I'm just like kind of going around the top part to clear it all off and kind of like thin it down. So this, since last update, has 2 new uses, which takes me to 4 out of 10, which really isn't that great, but the fact that I even got 2 uses, I think that's pretty good. To be fair, because so much has been going on, I haven't really had the chance to do my makeup, and I have been slacking, I'm not gonna lie, and that's not really good. But I think I will pick back up uses with this, because I did start to get a little bit more into doing like really warm toned looks, like, and like bronzy looks, and I really enjoyed it. But it just, life's been really dragging me through the trenches lately again, and it's not been great. But yeah, not many uses, but still I feel like I've made good progress compared to some other months when I've not even used it once or even thought about using it, so that's always nice to see. There's a few other products in between, but I honestly haven't really had the chance to use them, so we're going to skip down to K. And this product since the start I've not really used, but I finally found a way to use this. So I saw this hack on TikTok where if you've got like really dry feet, or just you want to like keep them more moisturized and softer and smoother, so what you do is you use a moisturizer and then go over it with like CeraVe ointment. However, because I feel like this kind of works in a really similar sort of way, I've then just used this for the same thing, and honestly that's the only way I've made progress on this. Otherwise, I genuinely don't think I would have used this even at the end of the year. It's nice to see that there's progress. I think this will definitely last me a long time. Also, a little goes a long way, so I have to be really careful with how much I use, because if it's too much then it feels like it's seeping through my socks. You know what I'm saying? So literally like a tiny amount of this is all I really need, and I only really put it on my heels anyway if I really need it. So that's been the only way I've figured out how to use it, because I'm not going to use it on the rest of my body, and it just doesn't make sense for me to leave this collection dust when it works really well in this way that I found. So yeah, I can't wait for me to be done with this product. Don't think I'm ever going to buy something like this again, but it was part of my, I think, goodie bag from Cult Beauty. I think they're the ones that sell this brand. I don't really know, but I'd be so glad when I finish this, because it's taking up space and it's not really a product that I feel like I personally need in my like routine. I think this is definitely more for somebody who has dry skin. I'm on the other side of the spectrum. My face is really oily and like breaking out all the time, so I have to be really careful with what I use. But yeah, I can't wait to be done with this. But with the summer like literally here now, because it's like heat wave going on now in the UK, I don't think I'm probably going to get the same use out of this until like the winter comes, but I will also try and use this as and when I can. We jump down to M, and M and P are very similar. They're two blushes. They're the very like pretty much like the same shades, and I didn't really realize this at the start when I kind of pulled these in. However, both ones I've been enjoying using today. I'm using the Patrick Tar one, but today I just want to show you guys what this blush looks like. I've actually had a lot of use out of this, and in the middle where you can see there's a bit of hard pan here, but that little bit just above it, there's like a nice dip going on. I think that's a bit of a better way to show that to you guys. Since last update, I've used this 7 times, which I think for me is really good, which takes me up to 15 out of 25 uses. I think I can easily knock out 10 uses in one go. However, I'm not sure if this is what I'm going to focus in on, because I have the Patrick Tar one and I also really want to use this up by the end of the year. It's starting to lose its pigment, it's getting really powdery, and I want to just have this done as well. And this is what I'm wearing today, and it takes a lot of me like packing on a lot of that blush for it to even show up like this. So that's a little bit frustrating, but I don't know if I'm going to pull this in or pull the other one in or just use both of these together. I really don't know what I'm going to do, but I've only got 10 uses left out of this, and I think I'm really happy with that. By the end of this, I might even end up passing it over to one of my young cousins, because she really loves makeup as well. I will see what I do with this, but it is a beautiful shade, and I do really love this. For the letter N, I have this NYX eye pencil. I'm wearing it today. You can kind of see it, kind of not really. And this has just been in my collection. I use this as and when I kind of feel like using it over the last, I want to say 2 years. So I've just been working on for a very long time. This is the shade Orange Zest, and I actually don't mind this. It does sit really comfortably on my waterline, but anytime I wear this, everyone's always like, are you okay? I'm just like, I'm fine. But I think to other people, they think that maybe my eyes are really sensitive, or maybe I've been crying, because I guess it kind of gives off the look that my eyes are irritated. But I have had a very tiny amount of usage, and I want to show you guys that. So that was me last update, and this is where I'm at now. So there's a very small change, but there is a change, and I'm really happy with that. Now we go down to P, and this is my Patrick Tar shade, and she's adorable. I really do feel like he should have kept these blushes going for a long time, because I do love a good just powder blush. I understand that his duos are really popular, and I get it, but it would have been nice if these had stayed. I know there's a whole like issue with him. There's been a few different things that have been like, let me just rephrase. There's been a few controversies about Patrick Tar. So I do feel like, oh, like, am I really, like, do I really want to continue buying from them? So like, I am a little bit skeptical, but I do really like this blush, and I love the shade of it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's a really nice sort of like what I would look like when I've got sunburnt. And I had it once in my life, and honestly never again. But yeah, so since last update, I've only had 3 new uses, which really isn't that great, because what I ended up doing was focusing on the other blush. And then spoiler alert, I finished my blush in my running project pan. So yeah, I've been trying like not to focus on too many things at once, but it can be a little bit tricky trying to get usage out of everything. So not many uses compared to some of the previous months, but I am now up at 18 out of 30 uses. So for the fact that I've still got 22 uses, not 22, I can't do maths clearly. I've still got 12 uses left before I can hit the goal on here. So I don't know if I'll be able to do that before the next update. If I can't, it's fine. I'll eventually roll this out and put it into the project pan, but this is what it's looking like now. And there is definitely a lot of progress in here. The pan is always getting bigger every month, and the dip is just getting bigger too, but eventually this will have to get repressed, and this will be something that either dies or dies and I have to declutter it because I just can no longer use it because the pigment's completely gone, or it will be a case of it's completely finished now because I've panned this up. But I do hope I can pan it up because I actually really do like this blush. But let's see what happens. For art, I have this gloss. I've got it going for a while, and I use this as and when I kind of really want, and that's usually if I want to make my lips look a little bit more on the pinkier side than I do. And it's just something that I use here and there. It's not something I'm totaling up, tallying, and I'm not really like marking any specific progress, but at the moment you can't really see it anyway because there's just so much product in here. I think if I was to leave it standing up, I may be able to see some bubbling, and I did see that last time too, but it was too high up for me to bother making a mark on it, and I didn't really want to do that because I feel like that would maybe be cheating. So I'm going to give this another 2-3 months before I then leave this out on my stand here to then be able to mark this. But I don't really get that much use out of it because I have so many other lip products that I've been focusing on, especially like the Illamasqua lipstick at the start. So it's not been that consistent, but I am still trying, but there is progress. You just can't really see it yet, so you just have to take my word for it. I've also got this Vera Vang Princess perfume in here. I just love this. It's such a good basic sort of scent, and it's a really nice, I feel like if you're in like school, college, or like you've got kids that you want to sort of introduce into perfumes, I feel like this is a really good like beginner scent, and I really like this. And you can always buy it on sale as well, which is always like an added bonus. But I've been using this for like a day-to-day perfume, and I've gone through so many bottles of this over the last several years since I've discovered this perfume, and I don't think I'm ever really going to stop buying it either because I do really like this. There is a very small progress mark on here. I don't really know if you're going to be able to, I think that's how I had to show you guys last time as well, but there's like a very tiny like line between last update and this update because I have been focusing on some other perfumes, and I do have a perfume project plan over on TikTok where I have like 2 full-size perfumes and 3 samples, but very soon I'm going to be done with all of my samples, so I'll just be having like 3 to 5 full-size perfumes in that one, as well as this one that I'm working on, and the 1 perfume in my 50 Shades of Blue project pan too. So that's a lot of perfumes to be working on at once. So I do think progress will slow down, but also this bottle is almost at the biggest part like of this, and eventually there'll be more progress that you can see because it just gets smaller and like thinner and thinner. So I'm excited for that. But yeah, there's just a little bit of difference, but I know I've been using this fairly often, and I really do love this. Another lippy I have been very focusing on, and I've been really focusing on it for some while, is this YSL Love Shine lipstick, and I think this is a shade 201. I don't really know. It's really hard to tell with these because it's not really anything specific. It just says a whole bunch of numbers and then 201, so I'm assuming that's what it is. But this is literally all I have left here now, which is crazy because at one point I was like, am I really ever going to get this done? But I do feel like I can. I think once I completely flatten this out, I'm going to try and take the sticker off and then push the product up to see if I can get any more product out, because it's actually a really nice lipstick and I have been enjoying this. So I'll see about that close to the time, but I have made a progress mark which I want to show you guys as well. And as you can see there, that was the last update, and that's where I'm at now. So that's all that's left, and I can't wait to be done with this. I think once I flatten it, I will remove it from this project pan, but then if there's any product I can push up, I will then push it up and then use it outside of the project pan. I'll probably roll it into the other one, to be fair, and if I don't, it is such an easy product for me to use, I probably will just end up panning up regardless. The last product is this lip pencil from Zoeva, and this is the shade Blooming Impression, and this one is here for a while. Like, this is what the shade looks like. It's a really nice formula. I really like the colours, I'm not gonna lie, but the most I've been using this is to literally line my lips, and sometimes I'll like bring in lining to like inside a little bit and then just add like a lighter colour like this YSL one on the inside to make it kind of give that bit of ombre kind of look to it. This is here for some time, like this, yeah, she's here for a while, but if I can go back and start my collection from the beginning with lip liners, I definitely would buy these ones because I feel like the color payoff is pretty good, and also the formula sits really nice, and it is actually very long lasting it to some of the others that I have used. So for that reason, I definitely think if I was to ever go back and rebuy these, or like start my collection from the beginning, they'd be a staple in my collection because they're that good. I've been making steady progress every month. It does get a little bit more tricky to use the more lip products I have in different project pans, but eventually like it will sort of slow down towards the end of the year, which I'm kind of looking forward to, and then we'll see. But there is a bit of progress, so I'll just show you guys what that looks like. So last update, this is what I had left. That's where I am now. So there is a good amount of progress, I can't lie, and I am pleased with myself with that, but I just feel like I'm not putting in as much work. But I do also need to kind of give myself a bit of like leeway because the last 2 weeks have been mad. They have been mad, but hopefully now things have calmed down, I will maybe get back into doing more makeup. The only downside to that is it is now like extreme, okay, it's not extreme rather, but we've gone from like 10, 12, maybe 14 to now having 22, 24, 25 and upwards. And if you've ever been in the UK with the heat like this, you know it's not really fun. Our homes are made of brick, and it just means that the heat is trapped inside, and my room literally gets the most sunlight. It gets hours and hours of sunlight, so by the time I'm done with my room, it's like an oven in here, and it really isn't a nice feeling. So I'll see if I get any makeup over the summer whilst we're having like the various heat waves throughout the UK. But it is always a reminder to take the environment very seriously, but that I guess is a whole conversation for a whole other video. But that is everything for this update. Hopefully I can have something better and some more empties for you guys next month. But thank you so much for stopping by, and I'll see you next video. Bye.